Okay, moving along. The next to the last video I made. I have a lot here, so I had to do 2 videos to get it in time. The first one was talking about my discussion of 1 Timothy 3:16, and again, just a reminder, all these verses I'm pulling are because that's the order that's presented in this King James only advocate material here. And so he pulls these verses out and addresses, trying to show proof that the new translations are denying Orthodox Christian beliefs. And he likes to point out that, I pull from Bruce Metzger. Okay. So 1 Timothy 3:16. Since you don't like just hearing from Bruce Metzger, how about Kenneth Wuest? Heard of him? Greek guy, Greek scholar, and Wuest Word Studies in the Greek New Testament. 1 Timothy 3:16. He says the word God is not in the best text, rather the relative pronoun hos, which translates who, which refers to Christ as its antecedent. Vincent says that the abruptness of its introduction may be explained by the fact that it and the words which follow were probably taken from an ancient creedal hymn. In the early Christian ages, it was not unusual to employ verse or rhythm for theological teaching or statement. Okay. A.T. Robertson, is he a Greek scholar? Does he know his stuff? Is he a trustworthy source? He who hosts, the correct text, not theos, which is God. The reading of the text is receptus, which is also the Syrian text. Nor o, which is, ho is the Greek word. Neuter relative, agreeing with mysterion. The reading of the Western documents. Westcott and Hort print this relative clause as a fragment of a Christian hymn, like Ephesians 5:14, and 6 strophes, strophes. I'm not familiar with that word. Sorry. That is probably correct. At any rate, hos, who, is correct, and there is a syntodon, which means no connective in the verbs. Christ, to whom host refers, is the mystery. Okay? And then Vincent, Word Studies in the New Testament. Is that a good source? Is he a good scholar? Talking about this word God, theos. It says, but the correct rendering is who. And he has a little footnote here. He says, those who are interested in the details of this controversy over this reading may consult S.P. Tregelles, an account of the printed text of the Greek New Testament, pages 165, and F.H.A. Scrivener, Introduction to the Criticism of the New Testament, 4th edition, volume 2, pages 390 to 395. The antecedent of this relative is not mystery, as if Christ were styled the mystery, but the relative refers to Christ as the antecedent, and the abruptness, anyway. Well, it says, and the abruptness of his introduction may be explained by the fact that it and the words which follow were probably taken from an ancient creedal hymn. In the earlier Christian ages, it was not unusual to employ verse or rhythm for theological teaching or statement. The heretics propounded their peculiar doctrines in psalms. Clement of Alexandria wrote a hymn in honor of Christ for the use of catechumens, and Arius embodied his heresy in his Thalia, which was sung in the streets and taverns of Alexandria. The Muratorian canon was probably composed in verse. In the last quarter of the 4th century, there are 2 metrical lists of scripture by Amphiliacius and Gregory Nazianzen. I guess that's how you say his name. Anyway, so alright. So you don't like Metzger? Well, there's 3 more Greek sources for you. To talk about that. Then he goes on my point about John 1:1, proving new translations are not denying Christ's identity. Yeah, so I pointed out when I said that this argument of 1 Timothy 3:16, that, the new translations are somehow denying Christ, deity of Christ. And I just wanted to point out that the harmonization of Scripture is there, that, John 1:1 and the new translations teach, the deity of Christ, all these other passages. So what I'm doing is I was just pointing out the fact that, again, if the new translations are trying to deny Christ, they've done a very poor job of it. Alright, I'll stop there and go to the, because I don't have any idea how long I've gone on this one, so I'll go to the next one.